Right, this is a Macbook Pro which I need to fix. It's needs some parts replacing, so let's get this thing apart and we'll go from there. Now on this thing here, the hard drive needs replacing, as well as the CD drive, and we'll see what else needs doing after that. I know the hard drive flex cable also needs replacing. So there's the drive out. Let's get these brackets out of the way. I'm not quite sure how severe some of these things are. Well, no, the flex cable needs replacing, so that's why I'm not too worried about pulling this off, because that is no good. So I shall leave that floating for now. Hard drive is knackered, as expected. This is actually a faulty hard drive, so it doesn't really surprise me. That needs a star drill bit, a star bit, which I have here somewhere. I actually like this set, but what I don't like is the actual driver. The driver's got, you can't really grip it because it's round and metal, and you can't put a lot of force on it if you need to use it for anything strong. So let's get this out, because I need to save these for the next drive I'm going to put in. Alright, so put that to one side because I know that is knackered. Let's put it somewhere. I'm not going to knock it off the bench. It actually has this pull tab on it, which I'm interested by. Don't really need it. So this cable here's got to come out. I don't know yet if the keyboard needs replacing. It may do. I'll be finding it out. But I am sure this flex cable has to be done. It's actually not stuck down, which is nice. Usually they're glued down, which is interesting. That one there is glued down. That's one glued down. That one there. That's fine. Get it out. That's that assembly there. I'll sort the rest out afterwards. What else we got down here? A whole bunch of mess. Put this off. And now I'm not wearing anti-static wrist strap, but then I don't tend to see the need for them most of the time. I'm working on an anti-static top, and I'm resting my arms on it and stuff like that, so I'm always at a low potential for that anyway. I'm not likely to have an issue from that. Let's just pop these out. These have been affected, which is concerning. And there's one more here. Come on, pop off. Right, so I'm going to get this out of here, see what I'm dealing with. So I might have to take the keyboard out as well, but I'm not sure yet. So I can get the drive out. So what we are interested in right now. There we go. Because I've got to see it's on top of the drive, so all this has to come out. Now what? Since I never pulled one of these apart before, this is a little bit interesting. But my head's probably in the way. Right, I am guessing that I've got to take these out as well. It looks that way in order to get that bracket off. I could be completely wrong, but it started moving, so I'm guessing maybe I'm not. So that's the Wi-Fi card and assembly. Let's go these out. So is that bad or not? I'm not sure. I cannot tell. Might be okay. I might have to try and pull that apart and have a good look at that. Right, let's get the drive out. We'll see what it looks like underneath there. I think that's all the screws. Looks like it, it's moving. So here's the drive. Oh, I think it just missed it. I think it just missed the keyboard, but it's got the power button. So we'll see how we go with that. Can I take this off? What is that? Is that an antenna? Something here. I don't know. There's assembly here with a wire going to it. Don't know what it is. I'm not quite sure what that setup is. I might have to pull it apart. I'm not quite. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yes, this drive got wet, and yeah, that's no good. So as expected, so I had to replace that with a new drive. I'm thinking that might have just escaped, but the power button has been caught. Don't know. I need to get this out and see what the story is on it. I can see how it goes. Or does that just run underneath it? There's a wire here. Is that the Bluetooth that comes right around? Is it? Does that just go underneath there? If it just passes underneath, it's probably okay. As long as it's not an antenna or something. But it does look a little bit interesting. So, well, I'll replace what I've got so far, and we'll see how we go. There's a little bit of corrosion on these, so let's give us a bit of a clean up. See if I can help that a little bit. Hopefully these are right, but you never quite know. I think it might have been surface corrosion, not right into it. So I'm hoping at least. Should probably use a different cleaner for that actually. Probably a bit of tissue. Just that there's a lot of crap in here which needs to come off. Okay, so this piece in here, which I was concerned about, is a speaker. Alright, so it runs across, goes to that same connector here as this subwoofer speaker. So I don't know if this is okay or not. It looks fairly well sealed, so it might be alright. Yeah, so it looks like it's sealed in the end there. The front face is also glued right around, and the back has got this piece glued on the back too, so it might actually be okay. It might not have been damaged. So, I just want to get this little end panel off here, just to check this out. This is also just stuck on there, but looks of it. Bit of adhesive. Yeah, there's a bit of adhesive on there. Just want to make sure it's all fine there. Actually, because I can't quite see what's down there. I think that's a Bluetooth antenna, so I might need to get that out. There's a couple of things I'm allowed for when it comes to repairing this. Okay, right, so that's that panel there. Will that pop out? I'm not quite sure how it's held in. I think it is just adhesive. Can't see any screws anywhere. Tricky to get into that bit to see that end moving. This is all free this end, that bit down there is not. Need to get into there and find out what's going on. Alright, so this piece here, which was in there, had one screw in the end. I had to lever it up to get it out because it's got adhesive on it. But that's the Bluetooth antennas. Well, some kind of Wi-Fi antenna, I believe it's Bluetooth. So this needs cleaning up, and I should be able to put that back in again. It doesn't look too corroded. And this panel here will probably just pop out now actually, because there's nothing really there anyway. But I just want to make sure it's all clean behind it. This kind of wants to come out. Well, again, I think it's got some adhesive in there. I think actually no, it can stay there. There's nothing there now. Now I've identified what all the things are there, I think it's okay. So I'm going to clean these up, clean that corrosion off there, and give it a clean up. I think it's alright, and I'll reassemble those parts. I'll strip down the Wi-Fi assembly here and see if that looks okay. I mean, from here it looks fine. So I think it's escaped, but the connectors all had corrosion on, so whether that's just travelled up to them, up the wires or what, I'm not sure, but obviously I need to be sure that the card itself is okay. Right, so here's a brand new hard drive flex cable. If we can get the bag, it'd be great. Yeah, these things fail from time to time anyway, just a matter of course, so as always I bought a couple. There's a little springy clip, where did that come from? That's concerning. Where is that from? It's like a screw head, it might be from over here. I'll have to figure that out. There's not any place that could have come from, so I'm not too worried, but I'll figure it out anyway. So, new cable. So this has to be positioned correctly. So it pops onto there, has to run across here, and then it's got to go over the drive, goes over the top of the drive, so it's got to sit like that, and it's actually kinked up like this. Those screws go in there. This has to be, this run here has to be stuck down to the chassis, and this has to be mounted onto this piece here. I've got to take all this off and stick this on it instead. So it's not a big deal, but it's only really to be a minor thing to do. So we get onto that. Slide this out of the way for now, then I'll have to figure out where that little spring clip came from. Very interesting. Right, the first thing I'll do is get this one apart. It's got a little is that lever action? So there's a little lever on the back there. So you can see that. So on here, there's a little lever on the back of that connector. You've got to pop that up like that. So you can pull this little flex cable here out. Okay, so it'll pop out there. Then you can actually take this piece off the board. In theory. Alright, so it's stuck down pretty well. Make sure I don't get anything wrong here. It looks good. Looks the same. Pop that off there. Let's get this piece off the board, hopefully. Seems to be stuck down pretty damn well. Go on, off you come. There you go. It's off. Right. So this bit here is the bit you mustn't make sure, you have to make sure you don't break it. And that's the old assembly, which is going in a bin. Now give us a bit of a clean, because it needs it. I'm not going to do the same thing here, because right now there's a bit of adhesive left there, right? Which is handy because that will help me to guide that cable back into the correct place. So when I go to stick this flex cable back down, because it says it's got adhesive on the back there, I can make sure I follow that line, that way of being exactly the right place. So I'm not going to take that piece out. buffer back in again. Right. So this is where it's a little bit fiddly. It's not too hard, but it is a little bit fiddly. Somewhere there'll be an edge I can get underneath to peel this off. Let's find something sharper edge, shall we? There we go, gotcha. Right. Don't touch the back with your fingers unless you are going to drop it. Been there, done that. Let's fold it out of the way so I don't get caught underneath it. Now this has got to be positioned on here exactly right, so you stick it into that corner like that, up against the edge, and then put it down. Okay, they should then be correctly aligned. Give it a bit of a push down, just in various spots to make sure it's adhered correctly. This is really fiddly. Look, I might zoom the camera in a bit, just see if we can get a better shot of it. And try and get it in shot. Okay, slightly better, isn't it? Right, so and I've got to again make sure it latches up. I've got to get that into that connector. So let's get my tweezers. You also have to be really careful with these cables. You don't crease them or anything like that, because if you do that, you end up ruining the cable. They're very fragile. So I'll put that into there. These aren't really the right tweezers for this. I might have to change. So here we go. Kind of going in. It's not in there fully yet. It's only barely in there. I'm not sure that's fully in. I'll just get some different tweezers, which are here somewhere. Somewhere. Where are they? I miss not being in my usual workshop. Right, let's try these ones. My usual lab. Yes, that's not. See, it wasn't in. That's supposed to be right in there. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. But, right, that's right in now. That's fine. I'm happy with that. The right tools make the difference. Now, so this has got to be refitted into position, and then peel that tape off and stick it down. So we stick this end in first and get the right screwdriver. Hopefully it'll still in shot. Zoom out slightly, eh? So we get these screws here in first. I'll get it lined up at least at that end. Come on, pop in there. Okay. That's the end in. So it should naturally want to sit where it's supposed to go. Now, so this has got to be folded around here. But I suggest, I mean, it says it's supposed to be creased, and, you know, you're supposed to crease it around and make it fit, but I suggest you don't put too much stress on it, only give it just enough to make it go where it needs to go. Because if you crease it hard, you can actually break the traces inside those flex cables, so be gentle with it. So I'm going to peel this off, and then I'm going to position it, and I'm going to just push that down. Okay, so I can kind of see where it goes anyway because of this. Right, so it's supposed to go in line with that, just there like that. Okay, so it should be, if I follow that line, that should be really close to correct, and it pretty much is. So there's a very slight difference in path, the looks of it. So we'll peel this off. This is where it gets a little tricky, because we've got to make sure we get it right. Push that into that corner, it's definitely down. And try and follow this path here, where the original one was. should be just about there. It's a bit stuck to me. Right, it's pretty close. Pretty close. It's not bad. I think that'll be okay. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So let's put that back down there to help hold it in place. And we'll put those screws in, if I remember which ones they are. So many screws, so many things I pulled apart. Now it's one of the first screws I pulled out, so it'd be these two here. Come on, in you go. Nice, those in. Right, so that's the hard drive cable in place. So it's not absolutely perfect, and this has got to fold up as well like this to go around the drive. Just very carefully bend it like that. So what I think I might do now is refit the drive, refit the speakers. Speaker first, because that one is got to go in before the drive. So I'll refit this first. So that is basically stuck down, so I'll just shove it back in. It goes like that. It's got like a little duct through there for the sound to go through, which is quite interesting. Okay, so it's got to sit there like that. It runs around under there. I'll pause this video and come back shortly after I've got that back together. Alright, so I'm going to get this drive back in. Some space. I figured out where the little clip thing comes from. It is from that back piece there. Anyway, so that's the original drive. This is the replacement. So it's got this bracket here I've got to take off and put onto the back. And there's also this original cable, which I think I'll reuse. I do have spares because I wasn't sure if it's going to be alright or not. I believe it's probably fine, so I was going to replace it. Just stick with the original Apple one rather than replacing it with a third-party one. Although the third-party one's probably as good as the Apple one, to be honest. As has been explained somewhere else by someone else, I can't remember who it was now. These third-party parts, they're not necessarily inferior quality. I mean, they may be. There certainly is a risk of that. But what happens is, because there's so many manufacturing partners that Apple use in order to get their parts made quickly enough, they get made in lots of places around the world, and then they'll choose the preferred supplier. And when they do that, the other companies which have tooled up to make those parts can make the parts, but they don't get the contract. So then they just make them themselves at a later date. So, okay, let's push this on. Cool. So that should be good. Don't think there's any other brackets I need. This all should be fine. Put that in a pile of rubbish. We'll slot this back in. So it's got to kind of get underneath that cable there. Sits in there, like so. That's in place. That's going to line up, is it? Let's make sure these things are good. Yep, that's in. That's all good. That's all good. Right, let's put these back in. So now you can see here, hopefully, that's had to kink around that drive like that. So pop that back on. Okay, so now we can refit this Wi-Fi card part. Now, I had a really close look at this, and I cannot see any signs of corrosion on the actual card from the bits I can see. So I think this has actually been okay. I think it's escaped. I think it's only just escaped it. So that's a good thing to know. Well, a good thing to believe. I think it's escaped it. Right, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say it's probably alright, and we'll see what happens if it works or not. If it works, then it's probably okay. I can't determine precisely if it's alright or not. Now this has to go under there, like this. So am I missing something? I've got a feeling I'm missing something. No, that's for that one. That's okay. Right, no, I think I'm alright. Let's give this a bit of a clean up. Well, this is quite a long video. Sorry about that, but you know, it's just the way it is. I may edit it down a bit. So here we go. Anyway, that piece goes back in there like that. That seems okay. This one goes in there. I think. What do I feel like I'm missing something? I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something. Am I missing something? Just feel like I am. It's weird. Anyway, sure. There's a little clip there which goes back on here. So I'm going to slide that in there like that. I believe that's the correct screw. And put the clip on there. Sits like that. Hold those cables in place. Like that. Okay. So we've got a few things to untangle here. So that comes around there, like so, and pops in there. And we should at least reach to pop in there. So this one needs to be pulled that way, I think. That's got to go in there, like that. Tuck down the side. And this is to flip over like so. And pop back in there, like that. No, that one goes over the top of that one. Goes over top. So that one first, then this one, because it goes inside that groove there. Alright. So tucked in there like that. Nice and tucked out of the way. That will clip onto here and get to line up. There we go, it's in there. Right, I've got to put those screws back in that. So far I don't have any extra screws, which is always a good sign. Now, next thing I can do is actually get a boot USB out and boot it and see how that's all looking. Make sure I don't pinch the cable under the screw. That's quite bad if it does that. Why does it want to pinch under there? It just seems a bit funny. What's the pinch underneath that screw? Let's pop this back off. Try and move it out of the way. You don't want to pinch it under a screw, that's likely to damage it. Just doing that with it. There we go. Now put it back down. Right, we'll put all these back in. These can be a bit fiddly too. I have to try and figure out how I'm going to get that one around there actually. Feels like it should go through that slot, but I'm not sure it wants to. Oh, there we go, it's in. Just not well. I'm not sure that's right. Okay, well, next one. That one in. That one in. There's that one in. Okay. Not happy about this cable here. This isn't sitting right. And it must go through that way. So let's see if I can just make it sit a little bit better. That's better. Okay. Right, well, the next thing to do is to refit a hard drive. Now, I did buy a brand new hard drive. I just have to move it a bit. There we go. Right, my hard drive. Actually, no, this isn't brand new. This is one which I had in my backup drives. It's had very little use, but it's bigger than the original because I upgraded my backup drive to be a larger drive again. So this is a 1 terabyte I'm putting in here, but it's had very little use. It's I don't know, probably 6 months, and even then it's only in backups occasionally. So yeah, what am I doing? I've got to put those little screws on it yet. Come on, come back out. Right, now we'll put this in. Makes more sense, doesn't it? Right, put it back in. I should sit in there, and I've got to pop this into here. It's cracked. Got to line those up to the holes. Then push it down. There we go. That's it. I'll clean these up because this is a bit corroded as well. It's only the screw head which has been corroded. It must have just touched it. A little bit of surface water. Anyway, the rest of it looks fine. There's no corrosion on the threads. It's always nice. Okay. So this drive does not have a system on it, so there's no point showing you booting up because it won't. I'll carry on with this myself. I'll put the covers back on and we'll test it out afterwards. So thank you very much to my Patreon supporters, much appreciated. If you're interested in supporting me to help me buy items for mailbag or projects to work on, you know, bits of test equipment to repair, that kind of thing, any money goes towards that is helpful because it is expensive buying test equipment to do repairs on, especially if I'm not actually going to be using it that much or it's something I could do without. Or, you know, as in most cases, you can do without things. So having a Patreon supporters and people that donate to me via PayPal is very helpful. So if you're interested in helping support me and you know, contribute to the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, my PayPal donation options, which are down in the description down there. Click on the Show More tab, this is down there. So thank you very much for not supporting me. I enjoy making videos, enjoy showing what I'm playing around with. It was just originally I was going to video bits of what I'm doing at the time. I was, you know, if I'm working on something, I'll do a video of that and slap it up, which was going to be rather random and erratic. And I've ended up basically turning my life into doing YouTube videos and buying things and trying to create content to keep you guys entertained. Yeah, if you want to support me, that's great. Because that'll certainly be appreciated because this is an expensive hobby. Catch you later. Thanks for watching. Click the bell icon. Bye.